Hi everyone, so today we are going to learn the differences between measures and calculated columns in Power BI. So what is the measure? So a measure is computed by aggregating the filtered rows. For example, if you have a measure which says calculate sum of sales and in my filter I have country equals to India. So in this case, first it is going to filter the data. I'm first going to get all the data where all the rows where my country is India, and then I'm aggregating this data. Then I'm applying my expression. So it returns a scalar value or a singular value, and this scalar value is computed based on the rows of a table which remain after all the filters that have been applied. So first all your filters are getting applied and then your measure gets calculated. And what is a calculated column? These are pre-computed values added as new columns to your table. So when you're adding a calculated column, this column gets added in your model. It is a part of your table structure and it is a physical column that you can use everywhere. You can use it to build connections, you can use it in slicers and visuals everywhere. It is a physical column with your table structure, and this formula defining the calculated column is applied to each and every row in the table. If you use the same DAX in a calculated column, that is sum of sales where country equals to India, so this function is this DAX is going to get executed for each and every row in your table. Everywhere it is going to check for each and every row. It is checking if the country is India, then it is giving you sum of sales. If the country is not India, then it is leaving it as blank. It is moving to the next row. It is getting calculated for each and every row. Now let's understand the differences. Storage. These measures are stored as formulas in your table. So they are not any data points. They are stored as just formulas because they are calculated based on the existing values. They are stored on top of your table and they are not a part of the table. Whereas calculated column, they are stored in your model and they occupy some space in your model. They are a part of your table structure, so they occupy some space. Now calculation. Measures are calculated every time a query is executed. Now what is query execution in Power BI? So for example, you have a dashboard, Superstore dashboard, and you have a slice of countries. When I'm selecting country as India, a query is being executed. You can consider it as SQL queries like select all where country equals to India. So if you are using import mode, your data is stored in the cache memory. So Power BI is going to its cache memory. It is requesting this data and then I'm getting all the data where my country is India, and then it is pushing it forward. So every time a query is executed, all my measures are recalculated. And whereas calculated columns are only calculated when your data is refreshing. When you are refreshing your data set, only then calculated columns are recalculated. That is why they are known as pre-computed values. Now impact on model size. Now measures, they are pretty lightweight because they are stored as formulas, whereas calculated columns, they are increasing your model size because they are occupying some space. They are stored as a physical column in your table, so definitely it is going to increase your model size. Evaluation context. Measures work on filter context because first they are filtering your data and then they are calculating the values, whereas calculated columns, they work on row context. They are getting executed for each and every row. Interaction with slices. Measures are highly dynamic. Obviously, if you are selecting any kind of slicer, your measure values changes within seconds, whereas calculated columns, they do not interact with the slicers or filters in your table, okay, unless you're aggregating them in the visual. But here when you're checking in the data view, they're not interacting. That value in the row, it is not going to change. If you're refreshing your data set and the value which are the row columns which are dependent on that value, they change, only then it will get changed. Unless it is not going to get changed, they have no impact, no interaction with your slicers in your dashboard. Now, use case of measures and calculated columns. So you can use calculated columns when you want a physical column. If you want to use it in x-axis or in slicers, then you can create a calculated column, because you cannot put measures in your x-axis or in your slicers. Also, you can use measures only in your visual level filters, whereas calculated columns, they can work on your visual level filters, page level filters, and report level filters. And if you just want to show a number on your dashboard, then it is always suitable to create a measure. And when you want a physical column, you can create a calculated column. Okay, that's all. Thank you.